So, so in German we have in English. Let me start. In English we have definite articles and indefinite articles. Okay, that means each noun has an article. Okay, I mean with the definite ones are the de in English, but the lamb, the man, the whatever. Every noun is accompanied by what an article, which is the definite article, the in English. Okay. Then in German, we have that same there, but in German, they've grouped nouns under genders. Okay, so that's the first problem with the language. Okay, unlike English, that every noun carries the same there, the man, the woman. There's no different there for woman and no different there for man and no different there for no nouns. Okay, they are all grouped under the same there, but German, they've grouped them under genders. Okay, that means if you are learning now, you have to learn the gender alongside, else you have a problem. Okay, you can't do away with, you can't learn the noun without learning the gender. Good. So that is out of the way. So then we have indefinite articles. So definite means we know the thing that we are talking about. We are sure of the thing that we are talking about. Because when I say the man is coming, I'm talking about what a particular man who is coming. But when I want to say anyone is coming, but like not a particular man, but any man, it could be any man. Okay. Then it have to be indefinite. Okay. This time we are not sure of the person. We are not pointing to a particular person. Yeah. So that's the indefinite noun type article, and that's the a or an in English. Okay. So in English, do we have indefinite articles? That's the a or an. La, yeah. So under the a or an, yeah, yeah. So that's the yeah. So in English you have a or an, but we have the same there. But in English you have a or an. So like to some extent you may say that a in English is for masculine noun. It's not certain, and an is for like feminine nouns or like not strong, like nouns that are not strong. Or like so you say a man and you say what an apple. You say a woman, then you say a knife. Okay, so like an is for like an orange. Okay, like nouns that are not strong, like if vegetables. Okay, but even gardeners, you say a gardeners, you don't say an gardeners. So like even English doesn't make sense. But the only good thing is that we learned them by heart. Okay, but German wants it to be fixed. Okay, so they said that since we've grouped them under what genders, we have a particular e for a particular gender and a particular an for what a particular gender. Okay, e or an egal. But then if we are talking about using e or an for a particular gender, if it's feminine, then we use eine. When it's masculine or neuter, then we use ein. Okay, so we have ein und eine for German and e or an for English. Okay, but e doesn't necessarily means ein or the an, or the eine doesn't necessarily means e or what an. But then we fixed it. Say ein is for what masculine and neuter, und eine is for what's feminine. Okay, for plural not for plural nouns, we don't have any fixed we don't have any indefinite article for plural now because we don't have a people, a humans, yeah, we don't have plural indefinite article. So klar. Okay, so we have the bestimmte article, which is the definite article, and unbestimmte articles, which are the a or an. Okay, so under masculine, we have you use this there, der for masculine nouns, okay? Then d for feminine nouns, das for neuter nouns, and d for plural and definite article. They all means the, but for different what genders. Then we have the indefinite article, which is what the ein or the eine. And like I said, ein is for what? Ein is for masculine and neuter, okay? Then eine is for feminine, okay? But like I said, it's not actually fixed in English, okay? Because you can't say an woman is coming. It's a woman, but still it's like in the normal sense, if ein was to be a, the woman would have been I am eine Frau instead of yeah, but then it's not fixed in English. Okay, so English the e or an is random. Okay, but in German the eine is for what feminine, then ein is for what masculine. Klar, masculine and neuter. Klar. Okay, so the cases apart from all this, the German case, what's this German case that's almost everyone, not almost, but everyone, me myself included. Okay, when I started learning the language, I was like, why? Like, why are they stressing us? Okay, it's like, why did you have to create a case? Okay, to just confuse people. What was their motive? Okay, so then the cases itself is present in English. Okay, in English we have that same cases in English, but English we only have three cases: only the nominative, the accusative, and the dative is present in English. Okay, the genitive is not really applicable in English. It's present in English, but it's not actually a case. Okay, it's not a case in English, but then in German we have four cases. In English we have nominative, accusative, dative. But German we have the nominative, accusative, dative, and genitive. Okay, so before we divide them into cases, we first have our sentence, a simple sentence that contains all the cases. Okay, so I am giving the man a book. Okay, in this sentence we have three cases. The genitive is in there. Okay, the genitive will be taught at the end of, like, after the three have been clarified. Yeah. So I here is a subject, right? The I am performing the action. Okay, I am given a book. Okay, I am performing the action of giving on a book. Okay, so I am the subject. The verb comes, subject, verb, object, and others. Okay, then the beneficiary, the indirect object here is the man. Clear? Yeah. So I am the subject. Given is the verb. The man here is the indirect object. Then the book here is the direct object. So basically, we have a subject, we have a verb, we have an object, and we have what? An indirect object. Okay. Yeah. So the man, sorry, the subject, which is the ich in German, the nominative. So in German, the subject is always the nominative. The subject is the nominative case, is the first case in German. That's the noun in its original form. Okay. No like yeah, like the one performing this the action in the sentence. Okay. Yeah, so nominative is the subject of the sentence, then followed by our verb, which is always at the second position for statements. Okay, if we already done sentence structures. Yeah. Then followed by the objects. Normally we have our direct objects. Okay, but then in German, when there is an indirect object or a beneficiary, like most of the time they are mentioned before the direct what object. But then whichever way, if you bring the book, if the after the subject the verb comes and the direct object comes, which in case will be the book here, comes, is still accepted. Okay, yeah, but Germans are so inquisitive that they always want to know who is benefiting from an action before, like, the thing someone is going to benefit from is mentioned. Okay, they're very concerned. They want to know, like, the beneficiary of a sentence before we know, like, before knowing what's actually being offered out in the sentence. Yeah. Yeah, so subject, verb, objects, or then your indirect objects, which is the dative case. The direct object is the accusative case. Okay, the direct object, the direct object is the one receiving, like the one the action is being performed on. Okay, receiving the action, which is the verb. Okay, so the giving is being performed on what? The book. Okay, the book. I am giving the book. Okay, giving the book. Yeah, and the man here is the indirect object. Okay, in this sentence, it's still an object. Okay, we can't have two subjects. We can only have two objects in a sentence. But when we have two objects, it means one will be benefiting and one will be what being like offered out. Okay, so the direct object is the one that we are performing the action on. Okay, yeah, then that's the one being offered out to someone or something. Then the man here is the dative case, the beneficiary of the sentence. That's the dative case. Okay, yeah. So again, the subject is the nominative case, the one performing the action. The direct object is the accusative case, the one receiving the action, or the one that the action is being performed directly on. Okay. Then we have the indirect object. The indirect object is the beneficiary of the sentence. Okay. So you can only have an indirect object in a sentence, or you can only get a dative case in a sentence. Not only, but then yeah, for now let me say, like, you can get an indirect object in a sentence when we have a subject, the first noun, the second noun, and a third noun is mentioned. That means automatically you have to know that one will be the subject, one will be a direct object, and one will be what? The indirect object, provided that none of them is preceded by what? A preposition. So it's either in the sentence they were used as in there, man, then another noun in the sentence was mentioned, then maybe a woman, okay, then another third noun was mentioned, the email or emails. In this sentence, we have what? And no man, which is what? Masculine noun performing the action, a woman mentioned in the sentence, which in this case will be what? The indirect object, benefiting from what? The direct object, which is what? The emails. Okay, emails here is plural. So in the normal sense, we've had what? Three nouns mentioned in this sentence, and none of them is preceded by what? A preposition. So like basically they are in their normal what? Normal like they're not influenced by any preposition. They are in the normal, like they've been mentioned in English. We have a man, a woman, and emails. Okay, yeah. So none of them are being preceded by a preposition. Then automatically one of them has to be what? An indirect object. One has to be a direct object, and for the subject we always know because the subject is the one performing the action. Blah. Yeah. Then the genitive case, just a special case in German. It's even dying out. Like people hardly use the genitive because instead of saying, yeah, we haven't gotten that. Yo, so what is the nominative? Okay, the nominative, yeah, it identifies the subject of the sentence, the person or thing performing the action of the verb. Okay, it answers the question who or what is doing something. Okay, so it's the default form of the noun or pronoun. Okay, so it's always the noun in the original form, no external what influence on the noun, no external influence, there's no outsider is performing. Like, so basically it's not preceded by a pronoun, sorry, it's not preceded by a preposition, it's not preceded by, like, yeah, nothing is being attached to the noun, but it's either the pronoun is with the noun is with what? The der or the indefinite article, or it's just a normal pronoun. Okay, original case. Then the definite articles are der, die, das, die for plural, masculine, then das, neuter, then die for feminine. So die and die for what? Plural. Okay. Then the indefinite articles are ein und eine. Ein for masculine and neuter, then eine for feminine. There is no indefinite article for plural. Yeah, like I said, we don't have a laptops, a computers, a cars, and cars, that's not possible. Klar. Dann Examples. Der Mann liest ein Buch. The man reads a book. Or the man is reading a book. So again, I've mentioned it time and time again, but then In English, this sentence can be like reformed as the man is reading a book, or the man reads a book. Yeah, in English, you have that flexibility. In German, we don't have that time. Okay, so when you say the man is reading a book, in this sentence, we have is, which is what a helping verb, and the main verb, which is reading. In English, we ignore the helping verb if there is a main verb or purpose, or like in other way, we prefer to say uh, to give statements out without using the is form in English. For example, in English, you say the man is coming or the man comes. Germans, we prefer to use the man comes instead of the man is coming. He is eating noodles. We prefer to say he eats noodles instead of he is eating noodles. We don't use the helping verb. Clear? Yeah. So when there's a helping verb plus a main verb, we don't use the is. So he is talking too much. German, we won't say er ist zu viel reden. No, we will say er redet viel. We use the talk. He talks too much. Okay, we don't use helping verb. And again, in English, you need the do form. You need do to form yes or no questions with these nouns, these verbs. Reading, singing. So, like when you're asking a yes or no question, you need do. Okay, or like you need for example, this question, if you want to turn it into a yes or no question, you'll be is the man reading a book, or does the man read a book? Yeah. Still, we don't use we don't use German. When we're asking the question, we will just use the main verb. List der Mann ein Buch. We don't use the do, we don't use the helping verbs as well. We always use the main verb. Klar? Yeah. Okay, so that is out of the way. So in this sentence, the man is performing the action. So the man here is this what? The nominative case of the sentence or the subject. So the man has been underlined or has been bolded to let us know that the man here is the one doing the action and is what in the nominative case, and it's der man. Okay. Ich lese, this is the conjugation for, yeah. Then, die Frau singt. The woman sings. Okay. Yeah. The Frau here is the subject because the woman is performing the action of singing. Okay. Yeah. Dann, das Kind spielt. Das Kind spielt. The child here is playing, and das Kind, the child is Neuter in German. Das Kind. Okay, if you want to say the child in German is das Kind, it's a neuter gender. Okay, then the Kinder is plural. Then the Kinderlaken. Okay, yeah. So the second problem with German is that when these nouns are used, okay, and you have to use them, you have to use the nouns in forming sentences. The verbs are conjugated according to the type of noun or the pronoun of the noun. Yeah. Which I know there will be another. Okay, yeah. So if it's H, you have to conjugate the verb according to the H form. When it's do, you have to conjugate the verb according to the do form. When it's plural, here in this case is sie lachen. Okay, because the pronoun for the children is sie. Okay, the pronoun for man is what er. So you have to conjugate it according to what the third person singular, which is er list. Okay, so der man liest ein Buch. The Frau singt. You have to conjugate it according to the third person singular, which is sie. She sings. So what? Sie singt. So the Frau singt. Das Kind spielt. Neuter. But it is S. Okay. Neuter is S. Pronoun for it is S in German. And S spielt. Yeah. Third person singular. And here is plural. Sie plural. Then der Apfel ist rot. Okay. So the question says nominative answers the question who or what is performing an action. Okay, so it's not always going to be what human. Who can be what. So in this case, what is performing the action. what is red? The apple is red. Clear? And here you see your helping verb is wrote here because there's no other verb in what in the sentence. You can say the apple is singing red. Okay, there's no other verb in the sentence. That's why we are using what the helping verb. Okay, yeah, clear. Yeah. Then we have the accusative. Any question with the nominative?
No.
Alles klar, yeah. Okay. So then we have the accusative. Accusative, as mentioned earlier, is what the direct object, the one the action is being performed directly on, receiving the action. Okay, not receiving the indirect object, not receiving the direct object, the one receiving the action. Okay, so the emphasis is on the verb. Okay, what the action is being performed directly on. Okay, the action is performed on what? Yeah, so it answers the question vain, which is who. Okay, is ver, nominative, vain for accusative, direct objects. Okay, order was. So who or what an action is being performed on. Okay, so it could be human, it could be what an object. But then when it's human, just know that it will change from this who will change from ver to vain. Okay, clear. So the accusative case indicates the direct object of the verb, the person or a thing that receives the action. Clear? Receiving the action. Yeah. It answers the question who or what, okay, an action is being performed on. Okay, so characteristics often follows the transitive verbs. Okay, so transitive verbs are verbs that always require a direct object. So they are verbs you can't use them without giving a direct object. Okay, so example is I have. When you say I have, what do you have? I have a laptop. Okay, so they are transitive verbs. Transitive verbs are verbs that always require what? Direct objects. Like they are incomplete. When you use these verbs, they are incomplete without mentioning what? A direct object. Okay, yeah. And you can say I see. I see what? You'll be asked, what do you see or who do you see? I see a man. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I take. When you use a verb like taking, naming, I take. What do you take? I take what? What? Who or who? What do you take? I take what? My laptop. I take my phone. Clear. So you need them to form what? You need direct object to make these verbs complete. Okay. There are plenty of verbs out there. Okay. Yeah. Then the definite article changes for masculine only. So under this case, under this accusative case, only masculine changes. Okay, masculine changes from there to they. The rest remains the same. The das for nominative for what neuter remains das. The d for feminine remains what d. The d for plural remains what d. Then the ein for masculine, the definite article ein for masculine changes just like the definite article. Der changes to den. The indefinite will also change from what der. There is an ein to einen. Okay, so in this sense, I take my phone, not my phone. I take a phone will be what ich nehme ein Handy. Okay, I have a phone will be what ich habe ein Handy, because the rule states that Neuter doesn't change. That's handy. Handy is das handy. So I take the phone with what is name das handy. It doesn't change. But when you say I have a husband is what? Der man or that der Ehemann. Okay. Yeah. It's masculine. And the rule says that for masculine, masculine changes from der to den. Okay, so it will be what? Ich habe einen Ehemann oder ich habe einen Mann. Klar, masculine nouns changes under what? The accusative cases. Accusative case. They from there to then on ein to einen, the rest remains the same throughout. Klar? Okay. Yeah. So examples. Ich sehe den Mann. I see the man. Okay. I am the subject. I am seeing. What do I see? The action is being performed on what? This man. My eyes are on what? On the man. I am performing an action directly on the man. Okay. Yeah. So I see the man will be what? Ich sehe den Mann. Yeah. Yeah. So the man is the direct object. I love. You can't just say I love. It requires what? An object. What do you love? Who do you love? Oh, I love the woman. Ich liebe die Frau. Okay. So under what? Accusative, the D feminine remains the same. Only masculine changes. So like just have it at the back of your mind that if it's not masculine now, if it's not a masculine noun, masculine gender, masculine, yeah, possessive pronoun, like, yeah, it is if the noun has nothing to do with what a masculine noun, then it remains the same. But only masculine changes under what? The accusative case. Okay. So ich habe das Buch. I have the book, or I have a book. Neither remains the same. Wir besuchen die Freunde. We are visiting the friends. Okay. Plural remains the same. Die Freunde, because they are the direct object. We are visiting. We are performing an action on what these friends, and the action here is visiting them directly. Okay. So they are the direct objects. Yeah. Ich kenne ein Mädchen. I know a girl. Okay. I know a girl. A girl is something I know. I'm performing the action of knowing on what? A girl. So Mädchen is das remains the same. I remain the same for what? Yeah. I have a son. Okay, so in this sentence, I have someone, and what I have is a son. A son is what? Dear son. Then will be what? Ein will change to what? Einen. Okay, it's fixed. If it's ein or that der changes what? Den und einen. Okay. Ich brauche eine Lampe. I need what? A lamp. Okay. Yeah. So I need a lamp. Yeah. So I need a lamp. Ich brauche, and what do I need? A lamp. So a lamp is different from me. So then it's feminine. Eine remains eine. Ich sehe einen Film. I am watching a movie. What? Ich sehe einen Film, because their film. Und their film is what? Masculine. Okay, so ich sehe einen Film. So, and next one, ich esse einen Kuchen. I am eating a cake. Okay, I am eating cake or I eat cake. Yeah, whichever way, I am eating a cake. Okay, so the cake is masculine, which is der Kuchen. So then it will have to be what? Einen Kuchen. Klar? Hmm. He puts das Thema. He is cleaning the room. The room is what? Das Zimmer. Okay. So if he is cleaning the room, he's performing the action what's on the room. So here is our direct object, and it's das Thema. No, it remains the same, has nothing to do with masculine. So we just put our same noita das Thema is it should put that same thema there for what? Direct objects. Then er singt ein Lied. He is singing a song. Er singt ein Lied. So he sings a song, and the song is das Lied. Das Lied. German pronunciation is very important. If you make a mistake and you say er singt das Lied, das Lied here is also a noun. So we have das Lied where the I comes before the E, then EI. Das Lied where the E comes before the I. They are two different nouns. Okay. Light is more about compassion. Okay. Yeah. So the compassion, the kind of empathy. Yeah. So you say he has zinc and compassion. That's a scans files. Okay. Yeah, but anyways, they are both neutral. You have to use them when they find themselves to be in the direct case, accusative case. They remain the same. I said, when Casa of us say that all. Energy nam, energy nam the back, the day about the class. The back of light. They sind so doubting. Okay, we are soldiers. We are sharpened us. Okay, so here you heard then souk. Okay, you guys hear the train. Okay, we hear a noise and the noise is coming from a train, so we are sure the train is coming. Oh, I hear the train. Ich höre den Zug. Okay, because the Zug here is the second noun mentioned in the sentence. Okay, and I am different, and you guys are different from the Zug. And again, the verb used here is a transitive verb which requires an action. You can't say I hear unless probably the thing that I already mentioned action. Do you hear the song? Oh yes, I hear. And look, you have to say I hear it, but just like grammatically, you have to say I hear it. But then for like colloquial, oh I hear. Okay, so even you see there are verbs that requires direct objects. Okay, yeah, yeah. So ihr hört den Zug. You guys hear the train, okay? So masculine then have to put den Zug because here in this case, I am performing the action. I hear something and it's the second noun mentioned the sentence, the train. Then automatically the second noun has to be what? A direct object. Okay. Then ich kaufe einen Computer. I am buying a computer. Okay. I am buying what? A computer. Computer is their computer. Klar? Dann, naja, egal. Yeah. So we have the Küche on the kitchen. The Küche is the kitchen and der Kuchen is the cake. Okay. The Küche is the kitchen. Okay. Then der Kuchen is the cake. Okay. So any question about the accusative case? Any question? Any question? Do you guys hear me? Okay, so the market writer. The troublesome case, the case with the most trouble. Okay, the dative case is the case that causes all the problem. But normally the nominative case we understand it because the one performing the action. Accusative, okay. So if a second noun is mentioned and the second noun is different from the first noun mentioned, okay, then automatically the second noun will be what? The direct object, the accusative case. Okay, but then this time around you are giving us three nouns in a sentence. Okay, so you are telling me that I have to automatically send one to the accusative. I have to send like a subject. The nominative will be given, which will be easier to know because definitely we know the one performing the action. But then two nouns will be mentioned subsequently, and this time I have to send one of the nouns into what? either accusative and the other two what dative. So like how do I do it? Yeah. So acquiring the causing the most problem with the cases. Okay. But like I said, yeah. Yeah, so what's the dative case? The dative case indicates the indirect objects. Okay, that means before we can have a dative case, we need to have a direct object. Okay, in most cases, okay, when three nouns are mentioned, then we have an indirect object. That means that a direct object will be given the person or a thing to whom or for whom something is done. So basically, the beneficiary of what? The sentence, who is benefiting from an act, okay, in the sentence. Okay, that's the beneficiary, the dative case. It answers to whom. Okay, so here is to whom, to, and for whom, fear. Okay, but when it's to whom, you automatically sense this uh the whom or what something is being done for. You automatically send it into the what, the dative case without using the to, but it's assumed that to come before it. So for example, I give the man an apple. In the normal sense, you say I give the man an apple. Okay, so I give the man. Okay, I didn't say in English. You can turn the sentence around and say I give the apple to the man. Clear? Yeah, to the man. Okay, so to whom? That's why automatically to is what, a dative preposition. That's why we send it into what, the dative case, but we don't mention the to, because immediately we put the to there again, to there, it's assumed that the preposition, so the noun is not like, it's not official in the dative case, but then the influence is from the verb to. Like when we put the to, maybe ich gebe den Apfel zu dem Mann. But immediately we say to the man, it's no more in the original dative case. It has been influenced by the to, like physically. When it's written, then it's assumed that it's not in the dative case. Like although it's a dative case, but it's not like in original dative case, because if we are to have an original dative case, it shouldn't be preceded by what, a preposition in like a normal sentence. Okay, unless we have to use the preposition, then it's still like, although it's in the dative case, but it's not official. Blah. Okay, anyways, let's go to the characteristics. So often follows certain verbs. Okay, it means that most of the time you first have a subject. Okay, you have normally three nouns will be mentioned in the sentence. Then like I said, one has to be a subject, which is always easy to know. Then the other two nouns mentioned, which are not preceded by any what preposition, that one of them has to be the dative case and one has to be what, the direct object. So direct object and indirect object. Okay, good. Then there are some cases that there are sentences that you won't have. You have definitely sentence, you can't do away with subject and verb. Okay, these two will come, but then you won't have any, you will only have one object. Okay, but that object needs to be automatically sent into the, like you have to use the dative case for that object. So it's not like it's fixed, although only one object has been mentioned, but then that object, that because you use that particular verb, that verb requires a dative what, that verb requires a dative case, like a dative object. Example is helping. I am helping you. In the normal case, only two nouns have been mentioned in this sentence, which is I and you. I am helping you. Okay, but normally the you should be in the accusative case, but they said that they for the dative case, there are specific verbs when they are used, they require what, an indirect object or a dative object, which an example of that verb is helfen. Example, geben, gratulieren, guarantee, like to guarantee guaranteeing. I am guaranteeing you that, like, I'm giving you, I am assuring you, physician is dative. Okay, so we have plenty of verbs out there which are which requires dative case. They are the easiest. Okay, and say one when you use them, just know that they are dative case and like they are dative verbs which requires what dative case. So you wouldn't have to think between two nouns, thinking which one should be the dative and which one should be the indirect object. Nah, it's not applicable. Immediately you see these verbs, automatically you should know that they require what dative case. They are easy, and then you can't complain about it. Okay. Then another option is that another way of putting a verb into the dative case is when they are used with some prepositions. Okay, so they are fixed dative prepositions. Example is what met, by, außer, aus, von, seit. Okay, so they are all met, they are all dative prepositions, and they are saying, and the rule says that if these prepositions are used before a noun, okay, then you have to send the noun to what the dative case. Okay, so there are three ways of getting a dative case in a sentence. The first one is that you have three nouns mentioned in the sentence. One will be the subject, which, like I said, always easier to know than the two other nouns. One has to be a direct object, and one has to be the indirect object. That is, I think that yeah, that's the most difficult one among the three. Okay, yeah, so sometimes you have to think hard which one is receiving an action and which one is the action directly performed on. Okay, yeah. But aside that one, the second one is that they are verbs that requires fixed dative what objects or fixed that yeah basically fixed dative objects. Okay, when a subject is mentioned and these verbs are used, the subject is performing these verbs, then the direct object or the indirect object, egal, whichever object that comes after the verb has to be what in the dative case. It's easy, it's a simple rule. Then the third one is that when there are specific prepositions, which when used automatically, the noun following them should be in what in the dative case. Okay, the for whom, the for whom, when immediately we say the for whom, we use the fear, it's mentioned in the sentence. Like example, I'm looking for a job for my mother. In this sentence, yeah, I am looking for a job for my mother. This sentence, how many nouns are in this sentence? Like original nouns. Like basically, we have a subject, right? We have a direct object in this sentence.
Yeah.
What's the direct object?
Job.
Job.
A job.
And then direct object.
My mother.
Yeah. Yeah. So the direct object is a job. Okay. Then the beneficiary is my mother. Okay. But the preposition used here, although my mom is the beneficiary, but then a preposition has been used here. The preposition here is for, to search for, suchen. Suchen, like suche einen Job für meine Mutter. Suchen means to search for. So the for, this for is part of looking. Okay, so basically this job like it's not influenced by a preposition. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. But here for my mother, a preposition for has been used. Okay, so I'm basically saying that although sometimes like you said, a beneficiary has to be the dative case, but once in English you use the for in the sentence, we mention the for. Like I said, it's a dative, the beneficiary, but then we use accusative for the for. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but I'm saying this. Suche, okay, in German, to search for is suchen. So maybe I'm searching for my shirt. You say is suche mein Hemd. You don't say is suche für. Okay, like the suchen contains to search for. Okay, yeah. So is suche einen Job. So the four here has nothing to do with the job. Like the four is not affecting the job. Okay, yeah. Ich suche einen Job, denn für meine Mutter. Or ich suche für meine Mutter einen Job. Egal. Like most of the time in German, you want to know the beneficiary, okay? Ich suche yeah, ich suche für meine Mutter einen Job, okay? So here I am searching for what? The direct object. What am I performing the action on searching? I'm searching for a job, okay? I am searching for a job. Okay, I'm searching for a job. For who is the beneficiary? My mother. Okay, so I'm saying that sometimes in the dative case, although like we say the beneficiary, to whom automatically to is dative, but for whom is what accusative because the preposition for is accusative. So I'm just saying that if you are forced to use the for, okay, in the English sentence, you have to use for, then just send it to accusative because for is an accusative preposition. But then if it's to someone, something is being given to someone, offered to someone, okay, then you have to send the beneficiary into the dative case without using the to. But for if in the English sentence you have to use for, you have to mention the for. Am I making sense? I'm going
Yeah,
over it
but
again. I'm saying that for the dative case, okay, for the first sentence, the first one which contains three nouns that you have to send one to the dative case, and the one to the indirect one has to be an indirect object, and the other has to be what a direct object. To know it, the dative case answers the question to whom or for whom something is being done for. So automatically we are talking about someone benefiting from what? An action. Okay. So in English, if you have to say, I am giving the book to the man, then we don't mention the to. Okay, but automatically send the beneficiary into the dative case when it's to whom, the man. You send the man to the dative case. Okay, clear. But if the English sentence says that maybe I am doing something for, maybe I am baking cake for my mother. Ich backe einen Kuchen für meine Mutter, or ich backe für meine Mutter einen Kuchen, because you won't have to send the beneficiary to a dative case because the preposition here used is for, and for requires an accusative. Although in the sentence we know that the person is benefiting from the action of being like the action baking a cake, like the person is going to receive a cake. It's like because the for is mentioned, the for is accusative, but then German reads it as like the person is the beneficiary, but then for is an accusative preposition. But when it's to someone, maybe I am giving the soup to the man, we won't mention the to in the sentence. For we mention for because it's accusative, but to is what a dative preposition, but we won't mention it. We will just send the thing that the thing is going to into the dative case. Okay. Yeah, clear. Yeah. Okay. So common nouns like common verbs, the first stanza applies to the one where you have three objects, three nouns. That's you have to push one to the one. One has to be the direct, and one has to be the indirect. Will be what unbeaten. Unbeaten means to offer. Giving means to give. What's knock? Bring. I am bringing you the bag. I am bringing you the coffee. So bringing, geben, unbeaten. Unbeaten means to offer. But I am offering you, like the unbeaten is using the like former sector, like to offer someone. Yeah. When you go to the I am offering you. Can I offer you something? Can I? Then another common one is yeah, I think giving,
Second.
bringing, and bitte?
Second.
Yeah,
Other.
chicken. Yeah, yeah, chicken. I am sending you an email. Is chicken there in the email because you have to mention the thing that is being sent out will also need to be mentioned. Okay, chicken. Okay, chicken. Okay, but the rest automatically they are just dative verbs, and we just I know so definitely there are others there, but the common ones are geben, bringen, shaken, and beaten. Mhm. The rest are just
Lie
fixed
hint.
dative. You said?
Lie hint. To borrow. Other.
Yeah, Lahin. Yeah, I am borrowing you my car. I am borrowing you my car. So like basically these the ones that you have to the ones that requires indirect object and a direct object, like they are easier to know. Like it's easy for you to put because you can't say I'm lending you my pen, or maybe I'm lending you my phone, or I'm bringing you my phone. Like automatically you have to know because I am bringing you. You are the beneficiary here. And what are you receiving? My phone. So ich bringe dir, ich gebe dir, ich schicke dir my handy. Or if it's the thing being given out is masculine, then it will be you send it to what the masculine case, which will be what maybe meinen, deinen, or den, einen. Okay, maybe I am giving the dog a bone. Automatically, you know the beneficiary. The dog is benefiting from what? A bone. I am giving it out to the bone, the dog. Okay, so ich gebe dem Hund because under the dative case, masculine denominator changes to dem and ein to einem, then feminine changes from eine to einer and die to der, then plural nouns changes from die to den, and another stanza with the plural nouns is that when the plural noun has no n or s at the end, like normally in German, there are some nouns that we form the plurals by adding s, and most of them adding en or e. So in the case that the plural noun has no s or n at the end, you add n to it for plural nouns, only for plural nouns. The rest in the dative case, you won't add any n to them, only plural nouns. Yeah. Okay, but for the second stanza, that's they said there are some verbs that automatically, because you won't say I am helping you. Like you don't when you say I'm helping you don't actually have to add another noun, like another third noun to it. So I am like helping you. Okay, so it's a fixed dative verb. Okay, there are plenty of them. I am congratulating you. Ich gratuliere dir. I am assuring you. Ich versichere dir. Okay, or ich versichere dem Mann. Ich versichere der Frau. I am helping the woman. I am helping our teacher. Ich helfe unserem Lehrer. Okay, yeah. See, it's not difficult at all. Just add the en, er, own. So if maybe I am helping our mother, will be our is unser. Okay, but for feminine, is you say it changes from D to DM. So it's what unser, the unser will come. Then you add your ER for the feminine D to der, unserer Mutter. So basically, you just add your endings to these, to the whether it's possessive pronoun, the mine, thine, you just add the ending. If the dative case is my father, it will be what meinem Vater. If the dative case is my mother, it will be what meine Mutter. The dative case is your dog, you guys, your dog is what eurem Hund. Okay, so like it's not difficult. You just add your em, your er, your en for plural nouns. You're doing. You're just basically adding endings. Okay, adding endings to different cases. Clear? Okay, and The third one, when specific prepositions are used automatically, you just have to send them to the dative case. I know they are helpful, and then you. So okay, let's do it step by step. So examples: Ich helfe dem Mann. Okay, helping, it requires what, an object to be the direct case, to be in the what, the dative case, regardless. Like it's not even assumed whether the object is an indirect object or what is a direct object. It's a fixed dative verb. Okay, so automatically, although we said dative case are indirect objects, but then regardless, it's a whether immediately there's an object following this helping, then the helping, the thing being helped will be the dative case. So here in this sentence, we have a gift der Frau einen Blumenstrauß, a bouquet. Okay, yeah, it's der Strauß. Okay, der Strauß is the bouquet, so like flower bouquet. Yeah, einen Blumenstrauß because masculine. They are performing the action of giving on what, and the beneficiary who is benefiting the woman, which will be the dative case. Okay, then the schenken means to gift. Schenken is also to gift. Okay, schenken. So sie schenkt dem Kind ein Spielzeug. Okay, so she gifts the child a toy. So automatically you have to know, like definitely the toy is going to the child. So the child is, oh, the shanked. Okay, so definitely it's a shanking. You have to conjugate according to she. So the shanked them kind, because the child is benefiting them kind. Then Spielzeug is das Spielzeug. Okay, okay, then automatically it will have to be what, sorry, Neuter, or Neuter remains the same. Oh, ein Spielzeug. Okay. Yeah, and yet they on Zeug, EUJ, whereas that ends with UJ. So EUJ, Neuter. Example is das Flugzeug, the plane is das Flug. Then this Zeug will flow it, okay? It's Neuter. Okay. Dann, ich danke dem Kind. I am thanking the child. I thank the child. Danken is a dative verb. Immediately use the danken. Who are you thanking? I am thanking my chef. What is thanking my name chef? It's a female chef. What is thanking meiner Chefin? Okay, yeah. Nyedin. Automatically you when it's a dative verb there, like you have to learn them by heart. You have to learn them. Oh, Schenken. Schenken requires both a direct object and indirect object. I gifted him. You gifted him what? We will need to know. You brought him what? We have to know that, like, so they are transitive dative verbs. These ones, they are transitive dative verbs, which requires both what, a thing being offered out, and who is benefiting from the thing. Okay, but this one, danken, helping, they are fixed dative verbs. Okay, they are fixed. That plenty out there, and you have to learn them by heart. So therefore, today, don't forget that danken. Immediately use danken, then you have to use what, dative case. So if I'm thanking you, with what is danke dir. If I'm thanking my boss, with what is danke ihnen, but capital IHN. On personal pronouns are different from possessive pronouns. Okay, you have to pay attention to that. Yeah, klar. So the rule says that der changes to what, dem, und ein changes to eine for masculine. For feminine, die changes to der, und eine changes to einer. Neuter, das changes to dem, und ein changes to what, einem. Then plural changes from D to they. Then plural nouns add takes what, n endings if they have no n or s at its end. Because, for example, for plural of cars, what's the plural for cars? Plural is that the car is that's out. What's the plural for the car? The cars.
Autos, oder? Die Autos.
The autos is the plural. The autos. So in this case, the if I'm saying I am coming with the cars, I am coming with the cars. It's come met. Met is dative preposition. So it's come met. Then the rule says that D changes to what? Then for plural dative. Then autos. In this case, the plural already ends with an S, so I won't have to add an N. It's come met then autos. You won't say it's come met them autos and again to see what have yeah. Okay. So if the plural now has an N at the end already or ends with an S, then we won't add an N. But then if the plural now has no N, then I will be forced to add, like, not I'll be forced, the rule says I just add N to the end. Then so it's danke then kinden. Normally is the plural is das Kind when the plural is die Kinder. Okay, so the rule say that the Kinder will change to den Kinder, den. Then the plural now Kinder has no N or S at the end, then I'll have to add that an N to it. It's also a simple straight rule. Okay, but we have to use plenty examples so that it will stick. Understanding is different from application. Okay, just if you understand and you don't apply it, you'll forget. Okay, there's no two ways about it. Okay, so example, he gives the man an apfel. He gives the man einen Apfel. Okay, so subject, your verb, the direct object, the action is being performed on giving. The action is not performed on the man. You can't say, I am giving the man. If you are giving the man, then who are you giving the man to? Are you a slave trader? Are you a merchant? Okay, so, like, I'm not saying you can't. There can be cases that by the thing being offered out are not human. Like, there are cases that the things being offered out can be humans, but then it's rarely used unless maybe you are a slave trader. Okay, yeah, yeah. So, or maybe I am bringing you to him. I know, yeah, you have to use the two. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We get there. Ich bringe dich zu ihm. Okay, you can say ich bringe ihm dich. Das ist falsch. Ja, ja, ja. uh, Forget what I just said. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so he's giving the man an apple. He gives the man einen apple. Definitely the apple is going to the man. The man is the beneficiary in this case. Simple, simple, easy peasy. Yeah. Okay, dokie. Yeah, I can be around you. Yeah, up number. So he brings the woman a flower. He bringt die Frau eine Blume. Das ist einfach so. A good notification that. Yeah. Okay, so he shows. Yes, another transitive dative verb is showing. Okay, you can't say I am showing. You are showing what? I am showing the woman the way. Okay, I am showing the boss the dog. We have to show something to someone. Okay, klar. Yeah. So zeigen is also a dative transitive verb. It requires a subject. It requires what? A direct object and an indirect object. Okay, but just know that regardless, if you have to use zeigen, it means you are showing something to someone. Okay, so if I'm showing you the way, who would try? I am showing you the way. I am performing the action of showing, and you are the beneficiary here, which is you. And what I am showing you, the way is der Weg, it's masculine. So who would try?
Ich steige die other weg.
Yeah, it's Tiger der den Weg. It's Tiger der den Weg. Okay, so you, the accusative is dish, but then it has to be in the dative case, which is der, because I am showing the way to you. Okay, so like I said, invisible to there, but then it's not mentioned. Okay, yeah, unless to yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm showing it to him will be So I told you guys that pronouns, okay,
It's,
pronouns uh-huh.
it's like it's tiger in yeah.
No, I'm showing it to him. Okay, I am showing it to him. The tiger as him. I told you guys that um when the when the things like in the normal sense we follow the subject, object, and indirect objects. Okay, but then Germans are
It's,
inquisitive that they always
it's tiger S.
no, it's tiger as him, not it's tiger him as in German. Okay, like I said, if the beneficiary is a pronoun, it comes first. If the thing being offered out is also a pronoun, then the thing being offered out will follow the normal subject, verb, direct object, and indirect object when it's a pronoun. But then if the thing, one of if the beneficiary or the thing being offered out, it's either like only one of them is in the plural, the pronoun case. Let me just use examples to explain. So I am showing it to him. I am showing him the way. I am showing the man. I am showing it. Yeah. So in this case, it will be in the normal case. I told you that in Germany they always want to know what. Let me start with the third one. Yeah, so I am showing it to the man. Okay, so it will be is zeige. It has to come, although the it is the direct thing being offered out, but you can't say a tiger, the man as that is false because pronouns are always given like special treatments. Okay, so the pronoun, the one which the pronoun has to come before what the noun, the other noun. The pronouns have to come before
So
this. You said?
why is it S? But you said the word is you said the word is masculine.
No,
So
no, no. Actually, the
why
S
is it
here,
S?
like the S here, no, I'm not talking about the way though. But then if you're talking about the
Oh,
way,
okay.
then to be is tiger in
Mm,
the in. Maybe I'm just saying
that's
like
what
maybe I'm
I said.
showing it to him. Yeah, I'm not saying say you are wrong. I'm just saying like here.
Okay.
So it's tiger in the man. Okay, so the in here is the direct object. Okay, but if it would have, if all of them are mentioned, I'm showing him the way. I'm showing the man the way because I am showing the man the way. One is when you are forced to pronounce it like yeah, just use such sentence in German, automatically you do it. You bring the pronouns first because if either the beneficiary is a pronoun, then the pronoun has to come before that the direct object. If like whichever like either of them, whichever one of them has rough word. Oh yeah. Yeah. So like okay, class. Okay, you guys. So I am showing the man the way. Okay, in this case, all of them, the nouns, the other two, the direct object and the indirect object, they all have their main what they are all in their original form. Okay, so that none of them had like none of them were like none of them were replaced by its preposition. Like sorry, pronouns. So it was it's tiger, the man, then vague. Okay, okay, yeah. When you say it's tiger, then the man is still acceptable, but then we prefer to know who is benefiting from the action before who is benefiting from like the object, the direct object before mentioning the objects that we are performing the action on. Yeah. But then if one of them, yeah, fourth sentence, you see, now the thing being offered out, okay, is in what in the that is in the is has been replaced by a preposition, but the man, the beneficiary is still what in the original form. Then, like I said, prepositions are given special treatment. Preposition has to come, sorry, pronouns,
Pronoun.
yeah, the pronoun has to come before what the original noun. Like that's why here is tiger in then vec. Okay, so here the thing being shown out, being given out, the direct object comes here before comes before what the indirect of the beneficiary. So with the third sentence, I am showing him the way. Okay, in this case, the beneficiary is what in the what has been replaced by a pronoun, but the way here is the direct object is in the original what case, like the original noun, which will be what is tiger him. Okay, the beneficiary is in the pronoun, like have been replaced by a pronoun, so it's tiger him then vec. Always preposition, sorry, probably not preposition. Pronouns are given special treatment. Okay, but when both the beneficiary and the indirect objects, okay, are are replaced by a pronoun, then listen, we go by the subjects, the verb, the direct objects, and indirect objects. The subjects, the verb will come, then the indirect objects before the beneficiary pronoun. So in this sentence, we is tiger s, sorry, for the pronoun for way, the direct object in him is tiger in him. So like in him. So in the normal sense, the normal will have what the nominative, the verb is egal, then accusative will come before what the dative case. And all of them are in the pronouns, especially when these two, the direct objects and indirect objects are replaced by pronouns. Then we go to the normal, the standard. This the accusative comes before the dative. But then if any of them, one of them has been replaced by pronouns, then the pronoun has to come first before the other. Clear? Do you get it? Do you get it? Okay, good. Yeah. So personal pronouns, like I said, personal pronouns are different from possessive pronouns. Personal pronouns are different from possessive pronouns. Okay. Yeah. Personal pronouns. The personal pronouns are the normal h, do, I, she, it, he, they, whatever they are. But the disadvantage is that, but even in English, when the pronouns find themselves to be the direct object, some changes. For example, I is I. If I am performing the action, I am doing it. Or like I see the cola, or maybe I see the man. Okay, I am performing the action is I. But then if I become the direct object, okay, in the normal case, I was seeing at first, like I see something, but this case, if the man is seeing in English, it won't be the man sees I. It will be the man sees me. So even in English, the pronouns they change under cases. Okay, they change under cases too, but just that it's not fixed. For you remains the same. Whether you are doing, you see the man and the man sees you, is the same. But in German, we don't want that. We want things to be fixed, like yeah, pay like rules. We would like to follow rules. So like if something is changing under different under cases, then we prefer that everything changes. Okay, everything changes so that they will follow a particular pattern, so that it wouldn't be like we are guessing. Okay, yeah. So then Germans said that if I become the direct object, then it should be what mesh. If you become the direct object, it should be what dish. If he become the direct object, then it's what in. Okay. If he if she becomes the direct object, okay, let's make it simple. For the Z and Z, then we won't change anything. So they will follow the same pattern. For she, they, and its former real plural. Okay, let them remain the same under accusative. You see, so like they prefer things to be like standardized rather than being randomized. So like now people get confused. No, let's make it like let's fix it. Okay, there, sure. So that's and then it means what it's all the Z and the accusative. When the Z, whether she is the direct objective, but in English, you see, in English, she changes under direct object. We've got I love, she loves me. But if I'm saying I love the female, I have to say I love her, not I love she. You can't say that, okay? But in German, we prefer to keep the Z form all the same. So she loves me with what sie liebt mich. Okay, but if I love her, it will what the same thing. Ich liebe sie for the accusative. There's all the Z forms remain the same. Klar? Okay. Then wir is uns. Okay, ihr is euch. The euch or the euch, egal, but I prefer to use the euch. Okay. Yeah. Then sie, the same thing. Okay, so then when the personal pronouns, if I find myself to be a beneficiary of a sentence, okay, I'm benefiting, an action is being performed to me, like I'm receiving, like I'm being a beneficiary in a sentence. Maybe someone is giving me something. Oh, the man is giving me a car, free bonto. Okay, then the man is performing the action. He's giving who? Me. But then I am the beneficiary. This case, I am the beneficiary. Then we have to use Mia. So the man gives Mia. Then a car will be what? The accusative, but under accusative only masculine changes. Oh, then I have to relax. I'm not changing anything under what the auto. What ein Auto. The man gives me ein Auto because that's auto is what neuter. Okay. Okay, so I am giving you a laptop. Hey, Freebonto, you are receiving a laptop. Okay, then you have the beneficiary here. Okay, then it will be what? Ich gebe dir einen laptop, because laptop is their laptop. In this case, the laptop is the direct object. We are performing the action of giving directly on what? The laptop. But only you here in the dative case because you are benefiting. Okay. Then the in here is im. So we have in und im. So I love him with what? Ich liebe ihn. Because he's the direct object, that is the object that I love. But if I'm giving something to him, beneficiary him, then we use this him. That's why the sentence I said, I am showing here, I am showing it to him. But here, the it here refers back to what? The way, which is der Weg, which is also masculine. But in this case, the way is what? The direct objects. Okay, so then what is zeige in the way, him, the beneficiary. He is the pronoun. But here in the dative case, beneficiary. That's why it's a zeige in him. The in here is referring to the accusative case for what? The way. Klar? It's not complicated at all. Not complicated. Not in any way, klar. Yeah. Then via, oh, let's allow the plurals, the first person plural and the second person plural remain the same under both cases. Then uns is helping us with a hilft uns. I am helping. I can't help because we can be. Yeah, so they're helping us with what? Sie helfen what uns. They are bringing us Kaffee. With what? Sie bringen uns. Then Kaffee. Accusative. Whether you want to say einen Kaffee, but you can't say einen Kaffee because they are bringing you guys plenty coffee. Okay? Although it's not like necessarily plural, but then sie bringen uns Kaffee. Okay, whether so he love us, but he liebt uns, so egal for the us, whether dative, whether we are the direct object, whether we are what the beneficiary of the sentence is always uns. That is einfach. In Junimi, it's einfach, it's always uns. But just know that one, like regardless, just know to say one is the beneficiary, one is yeah, just know. But you got maybe I should then the oil will also be oil. I'm bringing you guys a coffee. Ich bringe euch einen Kaffee. I'm giving you guys a pen. Ich gebe euch einen Stift. Okay? Yeah. If I love you guys, ich liebe euch. The same thing, euch. Klar? Then the z. Okay? Only for she changes to ear. So I am helping her will be what is healthy ear. Her. Dative case. If she is the beneficiary of something, it's healthy ear. Okay. Yeah. For the accusative, all the z remains the same. But in the dative case, they all changes. And we want to make this one, the she special. So the ear, the she will become ear. So I am giving her a boyfriend. Maybe what is gebe ihr einen Freund. Okay? Yeah. The ear is special for her. Okay, I'm giving it to her. So remember, dative case like probably it's a true. Okay, yeah. So if you want to say that is from me to you, who try? That is from me. From me is fun, and fun is also what dative. So that is from me to you. Das ist von mir zu dir. Okay. Then for the ZZ, the plurals, the Z and Z, she, sorry, they, here is them. It's them. Yeah, it's still them. I love them. Okay, yeah, them. And here is some plural you, Mula. You know, yeah, Mula. So I love them is Z. Okay, so I am helping them is helping ihnen. Ich helfe ihnen. If I am giving them coffee, what is gebe ihnen coffee? Them coffee. I am giving them coffee. Then for ihnen, Herr Müller, I'm helping you, but Herr Müller, ich helfe ihnen. Herr Antonio, I am congratulating you. Herr Antonio, ich gratuliere Ihnen. Like you. Oh, boss, I thank you very much. Hey, chef, ich danke Ihnen. Yeah. And one may ask, so if all the Z remain the same, the Z, because you have Z here, Z. So how will I know if one of them start the sentence? Because when there's this Z, the former you finds itself to be any place of the sentence is capitalized. Okay, that one is easy. So immediately you know. But then if it's between Z and this Z performing an action, how will I know? Because both of them will start with capital letters. So how will I know that which one is performing the action? Okay, so Germans made it simple. If this Z is plural, so if they are helping, if they are eating the food, or if they see her with what z sehen, then this z will be small z to tell you that they are seeing, but the seeing is plural. then her will be C. But then if she sees them, it will be what? Sie sieht sie. Okay, but if I'm saying I see you, Herr Muller, will be what? Ich sehe sie. Or that she sees you, Herr Muller, was she sees you, Herr Muller. Sie sieht sie. So here it will be conjugated with the second person, third person singular, sieht, for you to know that we are talking about she. But if it's them, it's plural, it was sie sehen, sie sehen. But for this D, regardless whether it's starting the sentence, you automatically, whether it's starting or it's in the middle of sentences, written plural the same as this ihnen. Okay, it's danke ihnen will be what capitalized ihnen. But then if I'm thanking them, will be what it's danke ihnen, small letters. But then ihnen will be capitalized to indicate that it's you I am thanking. But then in the former sector. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so earlier I mentioned that there are some prepositions that when you use them, they change the cases of these nouns. Okay, they change cases of these nouns. Okay, so that's the applicable. The third one, the third stanza. Okay, so these prepositions, when they are used and a particular noun comes after them, they are tagged with a particular noun. Then you have to send these the nouns what dative case. For example, if I want to say after work I eat my food, then what nak der Arbeit, because the Arbeit is the Arbeit, and nak is what a dative verb. So what nak der Arbeit. I go to school. Nach der Arbeit gehe ich zur Schule. Klar. I am going to school. Okay, I am going to school. I am going to school. Okay, so to is here a dative preposition. So you have to be zu der Schule. But in German, you can combine zu plus der to what zur Schule. Okay, so I am coming out of the house. What ich komme aus dem Haus. I am coming out of the house. Ich komme aus dem Haus. Okay. I am with the doctor. Ich bin beim Arzt. Oder ich bin bei dem Arzt. I am at the doctor. Okay. I am playing with the children. Ich spiele mit den Kindern. I am playing with the people. Ich spiele mit den Leuten. Okay. And for plural nouns which has no n is the Leute is plural, but then the plural noun has no n end, so I have to add an n. Okay, so when it's plural and all these are used, let me say he maybe das Haus is das Haus, plural is the Häuser. Okay, so if you have to say plural noun for house, what then the plural, the preposition, that preposition will come, then mit den Häusern. Okay, yeah. But these ones are accusative prepositions. When these are used, okay, then automatically they have to be what accusative. The noun has to be the noun that follows them have to be what accusative cases. So that's why we said, without my father, I can't live. Ohne meinen Vater kann ich nicht leben. Okay, I'm doing it for my mother. Ich mache es für meine Mutter oder mein Vater wird meinen Vater. Okay. He is playing against me. Er spielt gegen mich. He's playing against me. Er spielt gegen mich. So he is against the topic. The topic is das Thema. So yeah, it is gegen das Thema because an accusative das remains das, the rest remain the same, but masculine changes. Clear? Okay, so you have to take note of these prepositions. These are accusative, these are dative. So when nouns comes after them, dative accusative case. If noun comes after this, that's dative case. Yeah. So I'm sure so. So the possessive articles. So I said the possessive articles are different from pronouns. These are the pronouns, and these are possessive. Possessive means something belongs to someone. So you use them. Mine, this, that, your, that, they are what. So that's the possessive pronouns. So they follow the normal conjugation. So on the nominative case, it's mine, thine, thine. For her something about her, do in the nominative case, sein Vater, ihr Vater, sein Vater for its. Then we will be what unser, then euer, sie oder sie, ihr und capitalized ihr. Okay, yeah. So in the nominative case, these are the raw states. Okay, yeah. So if I'm saying my father is coming, what my father comes. If I'm saying your father is coming, thy father comes. Okay, nominative case, the same thing. Our father is coming, unser Vater kommt, because it's their Vater kommt. So unser Vater kommt, okay, euer Vater kommt, and what ihr Vater, like their father is coming, ihr Vater kommt, and Herr Muller, your father is coming, what ihr Vater kommt, okay. But when the possessive articles becomes the what the direct object, okay, then I see my father with what is meinen Vater. Okay, the ending there changes to den for masculine. So meinen Vater, I see meinen Vater. Okay, I see your father, ich sehe deinen Vater. Okay, so same thing. If they find themselves to be, just follow the normal conjugation. If it's masculine and accusative, then you have to add en to all of them. So euren Vater, then here it changes. The R comes before the R comes before the E. I'm not going to change it. Not necessarily changing, but then just to help with pronunciation. It has nothing to do with case, just by pronunciation. Because look, I say, you also say your mother, you guys, maybe your mother, even in the my mother in the nominative would what meine Mutter, deine Mutter, my mother is kind of what meine Mutter kommt, deine Mutter kommt. So by here would put it equal what oyare Mutter by like a. So then German said I just change the place of the E and R to for feminine and plural. If so it's what eure Mutter kommt. So it's what eure. Okay, for feminine and plural, eure. Yeah. Then if it's nominative case, then euren. Okay. Yeah. So I see you guys, your father will say euren Vater. Accusative, okay. But for dative case, for masculine and neuter, meinem. Maybe he is coming with my father. Ihr kommt mit meinem Vater. He's coming with your father. Ihr kommt mit deinem Vater. He's coming with your mother. What ihr kommt mit deiner Mutter. Because dative, they changes to there. So you just be adding the endings. Endings, okay. If it's plural, he's coming with their father. He's coming with their father. Then here, their is here. So here comes mit ihrem Vater. Ihrem Vater. Their. Okay. Ihrem Vater. Yeah. So like you just have to take time and you make use of like I use them to form sentence so that you get used to it. Because it sounded weird. Because also if I say, yeah, come to meet Iram Fata, it's the same thing. If I'm saying he's coming with your mother, so yeah, he's coming with her father, but yeah, come to meet Iram Fata. So it's the same thing, but they have to know like context. Which one am I applying? And I'm saying he's coming with her father. or he's coming with their father, or he's coming with Hemula, your father. Okay, so just know that all of them is ear, ear, ear. But then if it's hair, masculine, the same thing, same conjugation. Okay, just apply them endings. Okay, it's not difficult though. You're just ending the D, the D. That's the endings and the cases to this. If it's my them, then mine is there. D changes to there is what minor. If it's sein, if it's plural nouns changes, then plural nouns changes from D to they. So we have seinen. So when you see he spielt met his children, he's playing with his children. What he spielt met seinen Kindern. So what is signing here? The signing here doesn't refer to what masculine accusative, but then dative plural, which is them, changes from D to them, signing. So you have to use it so that you get used to it. And it's when you don't use it and you like out of the blue, you want to use them, it will sound weird because like you get that's signing the same as it's the signing is for masculine, but then now for dative to signing can be you can say signing because it's changing from D to them. Okay, so you have to use it. Yes, sometimes it will sound weird to you. Sometimes you assume that you don't understand, but you do understand. But because you don't actually use them, it will sound weird to you. Because you see, just the nominative for H, you do like just add an endings. Feminine, you just add e because it's D. The nominative remains the same for nominative. Then same thing. Then plural, you just add to them for nominative. Accusative. It's meinen for masculine. Meinen, deinen, seinen, ihren, seinen, unseren, euren, ihren. Feminine remain the same. So it will have meine Mutter, still meine Mutter. If I say my mother, it will say meine Mutter. Meine Mutter comes or is there meine Mutter. The same thing because an accusative masculine remains the same. So meine, then same thing plural. I see my people, is there meine Leute. I see my parents, is there meine Eltern. But if my parents are coming, meine Eltern kommt. The same, meine Eltern kommen. Okay, yeah, no changes and accusative. Then dative case, that's where OPI changes, everyone changes. So masculine is minus the EM, the them, we add it. Feminine, the ER, we add it throughout, okay? Later, still minus, we add it throughout. Then plural is meinen, deinen, seinen, ihren, deinen, seinen, unseren, euren, ihren. Yeah, that's fast. So they are kind of them they become with the adjective declensions, but I know they are wait for the like medical actually and you 100%, but then you follow the book and then you won't meet. Okay, today is a very today is Wednesday, and then you won't meet. I have to meet someone else. You know. But tomorrow we'll continue with chapter 10. But don't worry, maybe it will before the end of December. Okay, it will not say. Okay, so we will continue through tomorrow. Yeah, now I don't know what will happen, but then the same people now they go throughout today and scheduling a bit easier. So probably the Saturdays and Sundays there. I have a capra Saturdays and Sundays there. Yeah, something the people bone here, but I will make sure that we finish 8 before December. Okay, don't worry. Okay, that's vast. Any question? So, like I said, with the adjective declensions, there we stick to the book, okay? It come up there, then I'll teach it again. But now we just follow the normal. Yeah. Gibt es eine Frage? Eine Frage? Alles gut? Okay, so dann treffen wir wieder morgen. Ja, wir treffen uns morgen. Tschüss, mach's gut. Hmm?